Early morning at Rosedale International Airport. The sky is tinted with a pale, bluish hue. Rows of warm, yellow lights still glimmer along the runways. A steady stream of travelers, many still sleepy, hurry in with rolling suitcases. Summer in Westbridge is uncomfortably humid, so even at dawn the air feels thick. Inside the terminal, powerful air conditioning keeps the atmosphere cool and orderly, forming a stark contrast to the heat outside. 13-year-old Noah Williams, a black boy in a light gray t-shirt reading Dream Big and dark blue jeans, weaves through the crowd. He's slim but sturdy, his neatly trimmed curly hair and large brown eyes projecting both confidence and curiosity. In one hand, Noah pulls a black suitcase decorated with a stylized airplane sticker, a birthday gift from his father just before this trip. Today marks the first time Noah is flying alone after visiting his grandparents in another state for a week. Ahead, a row of check-in counters glows with overhead lights. Airport staff are diligently guiding passengers. An announcement echoes across the intercom. Flight operated by Williams and Rivers Airlines bound for Westbridge will begin check-in shortly. Passengers, please proceed to the designated counters. A small smile brightens Noah's face. He's always loved air travel. Watching billowy white clouds through the cabin window never fails to excite him. His father, Sebastian Williams, is a veteran pilot and co-founder of Williams and Rivers Airlines. However, few people at this airport know Noah's father is the airline's owner. Sebastian keeps family details private to protect them from media attention. Noah stops for a moment to take a breath and gather his thoughts. He recalls the recent, heartwarming week at his grandparents' home in Woodbury, where he heard stories about his grandfather's younger years, how he once flew small planes and navigated life's toughest challenges. His grandmother baked her famously delicious chocolate chip cookies, a personal favorite. All those memories glow warmly, but nothing beats going home to his own bedroom stacked with superhero comics. He remembers his father's words. "Son, the world isn't always fair. But if you hold on to your dignity, respecting yourself and others, no one can make you bow your head if you've done nothing wrong." As a black boy, Noah has learned early that some people view him through a lens of prejudice. Yet he believes living responsibly and with self-respect will protect his spirit. He double-checks his printed ticket and passport in his lightweight jacket pocket. Everything is in order. Exhaling steadily, Noah heads toward the check-in zone. The bright white LED lights gleam off the polished floor. So far, everything seems normal, until he steps up to the counter and meets Karen Miller, the ground attendant on duty. Neither he nor she realizes their encounter will alter his life forever in mere minutes. Karen Miller is in her early 30s, slender, wearing a neatly fitted gray uniform and a tight, professional hair bun. Her expression reflects a mix of confidence and, at times, haughtiness. She's worked at Williams and Rivers Airlines for over 7 years, typically overseeing passenger check-ins. This morning, Karen arrived for an early shift in a foul mood, still irritated after a dispute with another passenger about overweight baggage. So by the time Noah steps forward, frustration still lingers in her mind. Noah places his printed ticket and passport on the counter, smiling politely. "Good morning. I'm flying on flight WR256 to Westbridge. Here's my ticket." Karen scans him from head to toe, taking in his dark complexion and petite frame. She scrutinizes the ticket, brow furrowing. "You're traveling alone?" "Yes, ma'am. I submitted all the forms for an unaccompanied minor, and the airline approved. I have my documents here." She keeps silent, typing something into the computer, then holds up the ticket toward the overhead light as if searching for a watermark. The gesture feels overly suspicious to Noah. He tries to sound calm. "If you need additional proof, I can show my passport or birth certificate. My father booked the ticket through your official website." Karen abruptly cuts him off. Stop rambling. I see irregularities with this ticket. Noah's heart pounds. He steadies himself. I haven't done anything wrong. My father purchased it using his bank card. There must be. Karen glowers at him, her tone dismissive. Who paid doesn't matter. What matters is that it looks fake. Without warning, she grabs the ticket and forcefully tears it in half, right before the 13-year-old's eyes. The paper rips with a sharp sound, leaving 2 ragged pieces. Noah stands frozen, heartbeat thudding. It feels like a slap to his dignity. In the busy check-in area, a few nearby passengers turn to watch, while others avert their gazes, not wanting involvement. Karen gives a pointed remark. No valid ticket means you're not boarding. If you have enough money, go buy another seat. Her sarcastic tone implies the young black boy lacks the means to pay. Humiliation and anger roil inside Noah. He clenches his suitcase handle, stoops to pick up the 2 torn halves. Part of him wants to shout, but his father's advice about keeping composure stops him. He remembers his phone in his pocket. Noah quickly dials his father's number. Sebastian Williams is the only person who can help. The call rings twice before a familiar deep voice answers. Hey son, how's everything? Ready for your flight? Trying to maintain composure, Noah glances at Karen's icy stare. Dad, something serious happened. The attendant here claimed my ticket was fake, and she just tore it up. Silence hangs on the line. Sebastian, usually calm, exhales sharply. Where exactly are you, Noah? I'm at the check-in counter, Gate D, early check-in section. Sebastian's voice grows cold. Stay right there. I'm on my way. Noah ends the call, inhaling unsteadily, fighting tears of anger and shame. Glancing up, he sees Karen's stony expression. She shows no remorse, almost daring him to protest. Holding the torn ticket, he stands firm, waiting for the one person he trusts completely, his father. Several corridors away, on the top floor of the administration building, Sebastian Williams sits at an expansive desk with a walnut finish. A wall of windows overlooks Rosedale's entire airfield. Dressed in a dark gray tailored suit, the tall, poised man has just ended an early strategy meeting about expanding flight routes. His private phone buzzes. He answers, hearing his son's shaky voice describing the ticket-tearing incident. The father's usually composed features harden. Standing briskly, Sebastian presses the intercom. Margaret, get a shuttle ready now. I need to head to check-in. Margaret Rogers, a middle-aged assistant, steps in, noticing his intense expression. Sebastian rarely displays such tension, but in this moment, his eyes glow with tightly controlled fury. Less than 5 minutes later, an electric airport cart speeds down a restricted corridor. Seated in the cart, Sebastian's jaw is set. His instructions to Margaret are brief. Take me there as quickly as possible. She can sense the storm brewing, the storm named Sebastian Williams. While waiting for his father, Noah remains at the counter. Some curious bystanders look on. A few seem sympathetic. Others mind their own business to avoid conflict. Nearby stands Alice Brown, a middle-aged woman in a business skirt who's flying a different route. She appears disturbed by the incident. Approaching Karen, she questions, I saw you tear the boy's ticket without a thorough check. Are you sure that was the correct procedure? Karen eyes her warily. This doesn't concern you, ma'am. The ticket had signs of forgery, that's all. Alice frowns. But did you verify it on the system? What did the computer say? Karen crosses her arms, still curt. I don't need a computer to tell me when something's wrong. I have years of experience. Alice shakes her head and turns to Noah. Are you all right, dear? This all looks so unfair. Noah offers a faint, grateful smile but stays silent, afraid any heated response will only fuel Karen's hostility. Inside, he simmers with frustration, yet believes it's best to wait for his father to handle the situation. At that moment, Karen's radio crackles, startling her. A voice from management. Karen, please come to the administrative office immediately. She hesitates. Why call me up there now, she wonders. Henry Cooper, The shift supervisor strides over, looking tense. Karen? CEO Sebastian Williams is on his way. There's an urgent issue. Karen's face pales at the mention of his name. Sebastian Williams is not only the airline's founder and CEO, but one of the most respected figures in the aviation industry. Her mind flashes back to the boy's last name, Williams. She quickly dismisses the thought. Impossible. He can't be related to the CEO. I was just doing my job, so there's no reason to worry, she tells herself. Noah, overhearing the name, feels a rush of relief. He knows the confrontation is about to begin. From the terminal entrance, several employees stand aside, giving way to a tall man with stern features. Sebastian Williams, in a dark gray suit exuding authority. He cuts through the crowd in powerful strides, scanning for Noah, spotting his son standing alone, hunched over the torn ticket. Sebastian approaches. Noah looks up, exhaling shakily. The father places a reassuring hand on his son's shoulder, then turns to Karen. Who tore my son's ticket? Karen freezes momentarily, then lifts her chin. I did, because it looked fake. Sebastian narrows his eyes. How did you decide that? What proof do you have? Karen hesitates. She cannot say he looked poor or he's black outright. Instead, she replies, I have experience. I've encountered many forged tickets. The boy was acting suspicious. Sebastian's gaze grows sharper. Did you scan the code or check the system at all? Karen remains silent, because in reality, she never attempted a proper scan. By now, staff and curious passengers cluster around. All ears wait for the next exchange. Sebastian turns to Henry Cooper. You're the shift supervisor? Do you have any knowledge of what took place with my son? Henry nods solemnly. I just received the report. We'll begin an immediate investigation. Sebastian gestures at the torn ticket. My son purchased a valid ticket. No one bothered to verify it, yet she decided to tear it up. It's more than a procedural error. This is a public humiliation of a child. Karen now truly begins to sweat. The CEO's glare makes it clear he's not bluffing. She attempts a feeble defense. Sir, I was only doing my duty, Sebastian interrupts. Your duty is to check and confirm, not degrade a customer by ripping their ticket in front of everyone. Do you understand the difference? Karen's face drains of color. She's never been subjected to such intense scrutiny by a superior. Henry steps in. Mr. Williams, we'll temporarily suspend Karen Miller while we investigate. We apologize to you and Noah for this incident. Some bystanders watch with fascination. Many lift their phones to record. Noah tugs his father's sleeve, quietly urging him to contain his anger. The teen whispers, Dad, I just want to board. I want to go home. Sebastian places a calming hand on Noah's back, then faces Karen. You have anything to say to my son? Karen swallows hard, tension filling the air. She's not fully convinced she was wrong. Speaking softly but stiffly. I apologize if you felt disrespected, kid. Sebastian's eyebrow arches. If? Karen winces. Henry repeats more forcefully. Karen, you should offer a genuine apology. This concerns the airline's reputation as well. Under pressure, Karen reluctantly bows her head. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have torn up your ticket. Noah watches her, uncertain. He feels her words lack true remorse, yet sees her forced to swallow her pride. Sebastian turns to Henry. My son will still fly on flight WR-256, but this is far from over. I'll personally oversee the investigation. Consider that official. Henry nods vigorously, aware the CEO is known for thorough follow-through. Sebastian gently guides Noah away to reissue his boarding pass at another counter. Behind them, Karen stands rooted, realizing a serious storm threatens her career. After Sebastian and Noah leave, Karen lets out a shaky sigh. Less relief, more confusion. Colleagues nearby glance over with a mixture of sympathy and disapproval. One whispers, Karen, that kid is Mr. Williams's son. Watch out. You might lose your job. She feels faint. She knew the CEO was formidable, but never imagined the boy she dismissed was actually his child. How can I defend myself now, she thinks. No evidence can justify her claim that the ticket was fake. She never even checked. In truth, Karen has frequently felt uneasy about customers who don't fit a certain look. Sometimes they're people of color, sometimes they have incomplete English, or they wear casual clothes. In the past, no one called her out or officially punished her. This time, she ran straight into a hornet's nest. Henry Cooper approaches, voice firm. I'm ordered to suspend you. Go home and await further notice. A formal inquiry is underway. Karen, prepare yourself. Karen presses her lips together, gathers her belongings, and leaves the counter under the watchful eyes of coworkers. Before turning a corner, she glances back at Noah receiving a new ticket from his father. The boy holds her gaze, reflecting hurt and dignity. Karen averts her eyes and hastily exits, her mind in turmoil. With the reissued ticket in hand, Sebastian brings Noah to a private VIP lounge, accessible typically for business-class travelers. It also contains a small office Sebastian uses for confidential tasks. Soft yellow lights illuminate plush chairs inside, and a mini buffet lines one side. Noah sets his suitcase aside and sinks into a cushioned seat. Now that they're alone, he finally lets out the emotional toll of the confrontation. She tore it right in front of me, Dad. I felt so humiliated. There were people around, but no one helped me. Sebastian gently ruffles his son's hair. I'm sorry you had to deal with that alone. You never deserved any of it. Noah's eyes brim with tears. Dad, do you think it happened because I'm black? Do I just look suspicious to her? Sebastian's grip on Noah's shoulder tightens protectively. Son, prejudice exists in the world. People act on their biases, often without caring about facts. But remember, you are never at fault simply for being who you are. Stay calm and keep your dignity. You did exactly that, and I'm proud of you. Noah breathes deeply, comforted by his father's support. Still, Sebastian understands that love alone isn't enough. This incident requires a thorough response to set a precedent, so that no other child endures the same injustice. Sebastian postpones all routine work to convene an urgent meeting with the Williams and Rivers Airlines board that very afternoon. Gathered in the corporate conference room are Margaret Rogers, head of human resources, Henry Cooper, airport shift supervisor, David Carter, chief operating officer, and several executives. Once everyone sits, Sebastian gives a concise overview of the torn ticket scandal. He emphasizes that the victim was his own son, but insists this is not just personal. It reveals a severe flaw in customer service protocols. Sebastian speaks gravely. I want to know how and why this happened, and more importantly, how we will prevent it from happening again. Today it was my child. Tomorrow it could be someone else's. Margaret Rogers, a no-nonsense woman in her 40s, nods. We'll immediately suspend Karen Miller. But this is likely broader than a single employee. We've seen occasional complaints about staff attitudes. Henry Cooper sighs. Yes, some staff lack training for cultural differences or bias awareness. Many people have unconscious prejudices they never question. Sebastian intertwines his fingers. Then let's fix it across the board. I propose a mandatory training program on anti-discrimination and high-level customer service. Anyone unwilling to comply can find other opportunities. Silence grips the room. David Carter, COO, interjects. Great idea, but the costs and time investment will be substantial. We'd need to train ground staff, flight attendants, pilots, supervisors, everyone. Sebastian's tone is firm. Compared to losing customer trust, that cost is negligible. If we let latent discrimination fester, we sacrifice our core values. I won't allow that. People exchange glances, nodding slowly. Margaret agrees. I'll draft a comprehensive plan. It can't be just a few videos. It must be a sustained effort. Sebastian looks satisfied. I'll directly oversee it. We'll lead this industry with a zero-tolerance approach to discrimination. Shortly after the meeting, a corporate memo goes out. Karen Miller is officially suspended pending an investigation. Noah's flight is reinstated and upgraded to business class as a formal apology. More importantly, a mandatory anti-bias training and customer care program is announced across the entire airline. Back at the VIP lounge, Sebastian hands Noah a fresh boarding pass in the business class section. Yet Noah doesn't feel happy about special treatment. He simply wanted fair treatment, not an upgrade. Sebastian understands. Son, use this seat. It's the airline's apology. I just want you to be comfortable during the flight. Reluctantly, Noah nods. He peers out the glass wall at a Boeing 737 painted with the Williams and Rivers logo, waiting on the tarmac. He wonders, how many passengers have faced discrimination and had no one step up? Maybe I'm lucky because my dad is the CEO. But what about everyone else? As if reading his mind, Sebastian squeezes Noah's shoulder. Focus on getting home safely first. Let me handle the rest. Noah meets his father's gaze and nods. He trusts his dad will tackle the bigger issue. Sebastian walks him to the private lane for business class boarding. They embrace. The father whispers, "Fly safe, son. Call me when you land." Noah hugs him tightly, conveying his gratitude and pent-up emotions. Then he follows the jet bridge to the aircraft, still replaying the ordeal in his mind. Settling into a plush, business-class seat, Noah notices the luxurious leather upholstery and an oversized personal screen, plus a refreshing towel service. Despite the comfort, the memory of the torn ticket incident shadows him. He fastens his seatbelt, trying to relax. A flight attendant in a stylish Navy uniform, Susan Cook, approaches with a kind smile. "Hello, traveling alone? Let me know if there's anything you need." He merely asks for some juice, and she gently pours him a glass of orange juice, placing it on his tray with a reassuring nod. He wonders, if Karen had been this courteous and professional, things would have been so different. The loudspeaker chimes, "Please switch off all electronic devices or enable airplane mode. We are preparing for departure." Gazing out the window, Noah senses the plane taxiing to the runway. The engines roar. He closes his eyes, feeling the pressure as it lifts off the ground. Outside, white clouds drift by. Echoing in his mind are his father's words, "The world's not always fair, but never forget your self-worth." While Noah flies above the clouds, Karen returns to her suburban apartment in Westbridge. Kicking off her heels, she collapses onto the sofa, phone in hand, scanning an email confirming her suspension. Her stomach churns with anxiety. That night, sleep eludes her as she replays the incident. She tries rationalizing. "I was doing my job. The boy acted sneaky. Why do I get all the blame?" Yet deep inside, she knows she acted without checking the facts. Tearing the ticket in front of him was a blatant show of disrespect, as if he was beneath dignity. She recalls 7 years at the airline, reflecting on times she was overly cautious with passengers who seemed out of place, including minorities and non-native speakers. Perhaps that pattern of unconscious bias led her here. Karen's mind swirls with fear about her future. "If they fire me, how will I find work? Who wants an employee labeled for discriminatory behavior?" She realizes she faces a stark crossroads: change her mindset or continue blaming circumstances. Within a week, Williams and Rivers Airlines issues a company-wide announcement. All employees, from senior management to pilots, flight attendants, and ground staff, must participate in the anti-bias and customer care program. Failure to comply leads to disciplinary action. Those who fail to meet standards may be terminated. Noah hears the news from his father, relieved that the scandal isn't being swept under the rug. Sebastian, a lifelong aviator before co-founding the airline, fully grasps the need for top-notch customer service. He personally wants Noah to attend some of the initial sessions to share his story firsthand. Noah hesitates. Public speaking makes him anxious. But he also realizes, if I share my experience, maybe no one else will suffer the way I did. so he agrees. On the first day of the anti-bias training, a large conference room at the airport fills with about 50 employees, ranging from executives to junior attendants, all uneasy. Rumors about Karen ripping a kid's ticket swirl. Many fear being branded prejudiced. At the front stands Dr. Edward Morrison, a behavioral psychologist with expertise in bias awareness. He's explaining how unconscious stereotypes affect human behavior. Mid-session, Sebastian enters with Noah. A murmur ripples through the group. Dr. Morrison pauses. Sebastian moves to the lectern. "Hello, everyone. This is my son, Noah Williams, the passenger whose ticket was torn up without verification." A hush falls. All eyes focus on the slender teenager. Noah grips the microphone, voice trembling slightly. "Hi, I'm Noah. I want to share what happened. That day, an attendant tore my ticket and said I was committing fraud. I felt like a criminal, but I wasn't doing anything wrong except being a black boy wearing casual clothes. I hope after this training, no one else will face that same humiliation." He finishes, bowing his head. Several employees look uncomfortable, reflecting on their own actions. Dr. Morrison nods, inviting Noah to sit, then continues discussing how quick judgments based on appearance or skin color can lead to discrimination. Later, the training includes role-playing sessions where staff impersonate passengers under suspicion, experiencing the frustration of being repeatedly interrogated and dismissed. Some participants tear up, realizing they, too, have unwittingly mistreated customers in the past. At closing, attendees applaud Noah. He flushes with modesty but feels gratified, sensing they understood his pain. Meanwhile, Karen Miller is summoned to the training, still on suspension. She arrives looking anxious, aware that colleagues see her as the culprit. Early on, she resists. "I'm no bigot. I was just using my experience. I feel set up." Yet Dr. Morrison urges her to partake in a simulation, where she plays a foreign customer with limited English, facing a staff member who treats her rudely and accuses her of fraud. Within 5 minutes, Karen tastes the helplessness and shame of being profiled, dismissed, and treated as unworthy. When it ends, she sits quietly, realizing how quickly such disrespect can cut deep. Memories of what she did to Noah loom large. Nonetheless, she knows the inquiry might still cost her job, because records show prior complaints of biased behavior. Over several weeks, word of the attendant who tore a black boy's ticket circulates on social media. The child's name is often omitted to protect his privacy, but everyone knows it was the CEO's son. Williams and Rivers Airlines lands in the spotlight. Reactions abound. Critics: "Blatant discrimination. This is unacceptable. Hold the airline accountable." Supporters: "At least the CEO took swift action and launched reforms instead of covering it up." Neutral: "It's just one staff member's mistake." Sebastian avoids feeding the press frenzy. Along with the board, he holds a press conference announcing the anti-bias training, promising to enforce strict policies. He apologizes publicly for the incident, reaffirming the airline's commitment to cultural and racial respect. Public outrage cools as people see genuine steps being taken. Many commend Noah's courage in speaking up. Some civil rights organizations send letters praising the airline's initiative to reform. Eventually, the internal investigation concludes. In a formal HR hearing, Karen faces the results. She arrives looking worn down, voice trembling. I admit I was wrong not to verify the ticket. Tearing it was disrespectful. I regret hurting Noah. I'd like a chance to make amends." Margaret Rogers, the HR director, responds calmly yet firmly. "Ms. Miller, records show multiple prior complaints that you discriminated against certain passengers. Is there anything you'd like to add?" Karen lowers her eyes. "I have no excuse. Maybe I was paranoid from past fraud cases. I projected my suspicion onto anyone who didn't look right. I know that's a grave mistake." Margaret nods. After review, we are terminating your employment. The airline must ensure a respectful, inclusive environment for all customers. Karen closes her eyes, tears sliding down. She understands her wrongdoing, but still grieves the loss of the job she held for 7 years. Yet she also knows this is the cost of biases she failed to confront. About a month later, Noah and Sebastian leave the airline's offices and walk through a public area of the airport. Suddenly, Noah spots a familiar figure. Standing near a check-in counter, no longer in uniform, is Karen Miller, arms folded, expression somber, as if recalling old memories. Their eyes meet. Karen hesitates before approaching. Sebastian also stops. A wordless moment passes, then Karen speaks in a subdued voice. I don't expect your forgiveness, but I want to sincerely apologize, Noah. I've thought a lot since that day. I used to believe it was all your fault. Now I see it began with me. Thank you for not staying silent. Noah feels a pang in his chest. He sees how lost she seems. She's lost her job, likely facing many challenges. The bigger burden might be her guilt. Unsure how to respond, he manages a small nod. I don't hold a grudge anymore. I just hope no one else goes through what I did. Karen gives him a sad smile and turns away. Sebastian places a reassuring hand on his son's shoulder as the woman exits the airport, leaving her past behind. Noah exhales slowly, uncertain if she will truly change, but grateful she has owned up to her wrongdoing. The airline's anti-bias training program soon gains attention from other aviation companies. Some reach out to Sebastian, eager to adopt a similar model. Not long after, Noah is invited to a conference on social equity in the service industry at the Westbridge Convention Center. They want him to speak as the youngest panelist, recounting his transformation from victim to advocate for fairness. Initially, Noah feels shy. He's only 13. But Sebastian encourages him. You don't have to be a pro speaker. Just tell your story. Real experience is powerful. On the conference day, Noah appears in khaki pants, a white shirt, and a black blazer. Approaching the podium in front of hundreds of CEOs, social researchers, and reporters, he takes a trembling breath. My name is Noah Williams. Last month, my ticket was torn up at check-in just because I looked suspicious. I learned the real pain wasn't losing a ticket, but feeling stripped of my worth. I was lucky that my dad is the airline CEO, willing to defend me. But how many others out there have no voice? The hall is utterly silent. Noah continues, I hope each of us will stand against discrimination, whether conscious or unconscious. Everyone deserves respect, no matter their skin color or background. A huge wave of applause follows. Some attendees are visibly moved. Reporters capture the moment. The young boy's heartfelt message resonates deeply. From humiliated passenger to public speaker, Noah's story inspires many to re-examine their own biases. After the conference, Noah and Sebastian walk along the Westbridge Riverwalk at sunset. Gentle summer winds carry the scent of greenery. The sky glows orange-red. Sebastian smiles warmly at his son. I'm proud of you. You faced it head-on, refusing to wallow in anger. You helped spark bigger change than we ever imagined. Noah gives a shy grin. I'm proud of you too, Dad. If you hadn't shown up, I might still be helpless at that counter, or kicked aside. You didn't just defend me, you also reformed the airline. That's huge. They pause at a railing overlooking the water, gleaming in the last sunlight. Noah inhales deeply. Dad, I want to keep inspiring people. I don't want anyone to stay silent if they're treated unjustly. Sebastian nods, placing a firm hand on Noah's shoulder. Remember, one small voice can ignite big change. On that day, you spoke up to me, and now you're sharing your story with everyone. That's how real difference is made. The future stretches far ahead, and many obstacles may yet arise. But Noah knows he is not alone. His courageous choice to speak out supported by his father's decisive action, has opened doors for reforms not just at Williams and Rivers Airlines, but potentially for anyone facing similar prejudice. Basking in the red glow of the sky, Noah briefly closes his eyes, feeling the warm breeze against his face. He imagines himself older, maybe one day a pilot or an executive like his father, carrying forward the lessons of fairness, respect, and empathy. His tale isn't merely about one airport incident, a torn boarding pass, or a problematic staffer. It's become a reminder that one unjust act can spark a far-reaching movement for change, if we speak up and fight back. This is how Noah Williams's journey unfolds. From the moment he was humiliated at check-in, he bravely called his father and later spoke up for himself. Thanks to his courage and Sebastian's leadership, Williams and Rivers Airlines introduced sweeping changes: an anti-bias training program, a zero-tolerance policy for discrimination, and a renewed commitment to exceptional, inclusive service. Karen Miller, the attendant, lost her job, but gained a chance to confront her own prejudice and start anew. Meanwhile, the airline staff learned to verify facts objectively, not with biased assumptions. As a result, Williams and Rivers became a pioneering example for many other companies. Noah remains a bright, hopeful teen who still loves flying and gazing at the clouds. Yet now he carries a deeper mission: never stay silent before injustice. What seemed like a minor issue, one ripped ticket, ultimately triggered a profound awakening for an entire organization. A reminder that each of us holds a voice and a power. Using it at the right time can help the world change for the better. Change is never easy, but if we don't start, it will never happen. Words from Noah Williams and his father, Sebastian. Thank you for reading. Let this story be a gentle nudge. Sometimes a single spoken truth can trigger far-reaching transformation if we dare to stand up and speak.